Hi, thank you for joining me. You're greatly appreciated. So, a while back, I told you that I was working on something for the channel. I wanted to do some research on it, and I read some books on it, and did some research online on it, and watched a couple videos, right? So, a while back, God had started teaching me about manifesting and about how words are spells. And I did it for a while, and then things started to fall apart around me. And I was like, oh, I'm going to stop doing this. The opposite's happening, right? And so I had stopped doing it because all these things started happening. Well, I learned something about that too. But I wanted to read these Bible verses to you first, okay? So it's Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, KJV. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Seek God with all your heart, okay? And then Luke chapter 11, verses 9 through 10. And I say unto you, ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. And this is 10. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. So then I read a couple books. I read this one book. I read a few books during this time. And God had told me to practice a couple of the Neville Goddard techniques, or look, just watch a couple videos or learn his techniques, read his books or whatever. And so then I had stopped because all things had started breaking down upon me. And then I thought recently again, I remembered I had done a video a while back, and it was like, what you think you create. And then I was like, okay, it wasn't just my words, okay? So in my research, it was like your subconscious and your conscious, right? But how I am going to put it is like, for me, it's the same thing, but put it in layman terms or whatever. I'm doing it as what you say, what you think, and what you feel. And so, yes, I had stopped saying certain things. I had stopped I was watching my words, but I wasn't watching my thoughts and also how I was feeling. But it still seemed like it was working, because what I had learned is when things fall apart, it's actually working. And so I wanted to get back to this because I thought, like myself, a lot of you may have wanting to do manifesting, and you may be some of you, like myself, your life may have fallen apart. Some of you may have lost everything or lots of things. And so during this time, when I started manifesting, things did start to fall apart, but then I remembered, okay, don't stop, because this is part of it. And another thing I noticed is I started to get depressed. And I was like, why am I getting depressed? I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to feel good because I want these things to happen, right? But then I learned that that's kind of part of the process, because your mind's like shedding things and you just start to get depressed for whatever reason. So it's kind of part of the process. So if you get depressed, please don't stop. Try to pick up your energy and do something you love or enjoy. And if things stop falling apart, don't let that deter you. Keep going, because that means it's working. I know it sounds crazy, but it does mean that it's working. From the research that I've done, it does, okay? So you got to keep going. So what I did this time is I started small, okay? So first, let me tell you what led me to noticing that I was doing it. Okay, so we're always manifesting, whether it's good or bad. We are always manifesting, whether we know it or not, right? So why not do it intentionally so that we can create heaven on earth, the life we want, right? Why not do it intentionally? That way we can pay attention to when our thoughts start to spiral out of control and maybe go down the rabbit hole and be negative, that we can try to pull ourselves out of it quicker and go back to the positive. So I watched one of the Neville Goddard videos, and it was the one that talked about, I will not climb a ladder. And I'm like, okay, this is definitely going to be a test for me because, like, I'm not going to climb a ladder. I don't think I've ever even really climbed a ladder, to be honest with you. I don't know why my headband keeps slipping, but it's bugging me. Anyways, I have another cap under here. It's not my favorite one, but anyways. So I was like, I am not going to climb a ladder. Like, this is going to be a good one for me because I can't even remember if I've ever climbed a ladder or the last time I've climbed a ladder, okay? It's been a while. So I was like, I am not going to climb a ladder. I am not going to climb a ladder. And so this was like the first time a while back. I had gotten some work done in the house and one of the guys didn't seal something. And so I had to climb the ladder to seal it. And I winded up climbing the ladder, you guys. It was true. So I tested myself on it again recently because I wanted to do more research. And I was like, okay, I was doing some work at the time, right? So I had to do like, what do they call that? Sealant in your stucco. I can't think of what they call it now, but I had to do some type of sealant so that when the rain and stuff came, it didn't go in the holes that he had to create for the job that he did for me, right? And so this time I was like, okay, I definitely don't have anything to climb the ladder for. There's nothing going on. I'm not doing any work on the house or anything like that, right? And so one day I was sitting outside and I was reading a book, either the Bible or a book on this research. And all of a sudden a hummingbird came up and I was like looking down because I was reading, right? And so I didn't notice it, but there was like a hummingbird and it came like right in my face. You guys almost thought it was like going to come in, like hit my big forehead. And so, and then I looked up, but I kind of was startled and I kind of startled it. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, little hummingbird. I didn't mean to scare you. And it kind of took off. And I was like, oh, okay. And so the next day I was out reading again. And again, that hummingbird came and I thought, well, maybe it's telling me something. Like I've been feeding the birds and I feed them. It's like wild bird seed for the birds in my area. And I was like, maybe it wants me to feed it. And I had been thinking of feeding the hummingbirds, but I just hadn't got to it. And so I had bought this hummingbird feeder a while back and I had it in my garage. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the garage. And I bought this like liquid concentrate. It's like already mixed in together so you don't have to like mix it and all of that. And so I put it in there and then I went to go find a place to put it up. Well, I had this like spot that had a nail already like on kind of like the front porch kind of part. And I thought, oh, that's a perfect place to put it because it kind of has some shade and it's kind of covered and stuff, right? So I thought, oh, I'll try to put it there and see if that works. And it was in the area of where I kept seeing the hummingbird, right? And so I couldn't reach it. So I went and got my step stool and my step stool wasn't high enough still. And so then I have like this little like porch chair and I tried to like step on that just to put it up and it wasn't high enough. And so I had to get a ladder to put it up. And so I put it up, not even thinking afterwards. I got the ladder and I put it up and then afterwards I was like, you climbed the ladder. You climbed the ladder. And so I was like, okay, that, reminded me again that it's what you think, because I did the process again and I winded up climbing the ladder. So I was like, okay, you're manifesting all the time, whether it's good or bad, right? And I want to kind of show you guys the ladder. Do you guys mind? I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to take the phone downstairs. It might be a little like not stable because I'm going to be walking up and then back up the stairs. But I want to show you guys this just so, I don't know, just as proof. Sorry. Okay. Almost.
Front door open.
So, let's see. Can you see it yet? No. Yes. It's my neighbors, so. Can you see it? Maybe I need to go back. It's right there. Don't go away from it. There we go. See? There it is. And so, I tried to step on this little, I'm not showing it. I'm pulling it down. See, I have this chair out here, and I tried to step on that. the second time and it didn't work. It wasn't high enough. So I winded up having to get the ladder. I hope that showed it good enough. I'm sorry. So anyways, so yes, so I winded up climbing the ladder. And I'm going to have to climb it again to get it back down, right? And the hummingbird feeder, I don't even know if the hummingbird got to eat off it because I noticed that it leaked all on on the concrete over there. And it had leaked all over the concrete. So I was like, well, I wonder if it even fed it. Is it messed up? Do I need to fix it? I don't know. Anyways, so then I was like, yes. Okay, so you're manifesting. Of course you believe it. God already told you, but kind of helped as a reminder, right? So then I was like, okay, I'm going to start with something small. Because if I try to do something big and I don't see it right away, I know me, I'll quit. I won't commit. And so I started with something small. So I was like, you know what? I haven't been able to take my daughter to dinner in such a long time. I'd love to be able to take my daughter out to dinner, like not just pick up, carry out, or, I wanted to take her out to dinner in a restaurant. And so that's where I started. I was like, I would love to take my daughter out to a nice dinner. And I've been on a budget, so I don't really have money for that. So, and then I had gotten this flyer in the mail, and I should have kept that flyer. I tried to even dig in the trash and see if I could find it, but I couldn't. I think it's too deep. It was too deep down there. I had already thrown it out. Anyways, and it was this flyer that it was like, oh, you get a free dinner. Make this call to this reservation. All you have to do is stay for like a short seminar, right? And I was like, okay, nothing's free, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to be open to it. I'm going to try it even if I have to put the tip or pay for the tax or drinks or whatever. At least it's more affordable, right? And I wasn't even thinking about what I had manifested, what I was trying to manifest, right? And so I called and I made the reservation, and the lady's like, yeah, it's free. You can leave your purses at home. I was like, what? I don't ever leave my purse at home, but she was like, you can leave your purse at home. She's like, tip is included, tax is included. She's like, it's actually really totally free. And I was like, what? So I made the reservation. I asked my daughter, like, does this time work for you? Because it had like certain dates on it, right? I made the reservation for my daughter. I asked my daughter what was a good day, and I made the reservation for us, right? Because you could take yourself and a guest. And so then we went to the place, and it was a restaurant that I have eaten out before, but I've only done takeout. I haven't ever eaten in the restaurant. I haven't ever dined in, right? And it was Italian food. My daughter and I haven't ate out Italian food in quite some time. She eats out all the time with her friends and stuff, but I'm talking about us together. So I was like excited about that too. And it wasn't even far from the house. It was in the area. So I was excited about that too. So then we get there, and there was other people who had signed up for the thing. And yes, they were selling something, but you didn't have to buy it at the moment. I'll get to that though. And so then we went in and we sat in the area, and they sat us down. They gave us our little basket of bread and took our drink orders. And then they gave us the menu of what you could order from when we ordered our food. And then the guy said he was going to do a seminar. And he did a seminar, and they said it was going to be a short one on the paper, but it actually wound up being a 2-hour seminar. And he was like selling something to help your cost of electricity go down, which I thought, well, it wouldn't hurt to learn, like insulation and some fan for your roof and some air purifier. Yeah, it was like an air purifier that helps. And he had been here. He said he'd been coming here 5 years. I haven't ever gotten a flyer, and I've been in this particular house like, close to 7 years, give or take. But yeah, he had been coming, and other people went. And so we were eating our food, and then we did the seminar, and it was totally free, you guys. And so when we left, I was like, you know what? I manifested that. It did come true. And I know for a lot of you, like, oh, it's a small thing, but I'm trying to start small so that I don't quit and I'll build up, right? So that was a small thing. But yes, it was totally free, you guys. I got to take myself and my daughter went to eat, and I didn't even have to pay for it. And we got to enjoy a nice meal at an Italian restaurant. So that was a win for me. That was proof that it worked to me. And so I was like, great, that's one thing that I could bring back to the channel, like as proof, like, yes, it did work. Another thing, because I did climb the ladder. And so, what was the other thing? Okay, so then I was like, okay, I'm going to manifest. So I manifested that. So then I was like, I'm going to try to think positively and just see what comes to me, because I didn't want to be specific on too many things. But there were like little things I wanted. So I went to the gas station one day and bought some things that I do, sometimes, often. And I wind up leaving the check stand and I'm like, I don't think she charged me for one of my items. So I went back in, because I'm a regular there, they know me. I went back in, I'm like, hey, I don't think you charged me for that, because I didn't want her drawer to be short at the end of her shift or whatever. I was like, I don't think you charged me for this item. And she was like, no, I charged you. And I'm like, no, I know the totals of the stuff that I get when I usually come and stuff. And it was off a little. And she's like, no, I charged you for it first. And then I charged you for the rest of your stuff. And I was like, are you sure? And she was like, yeah, I'm sure. And I didn't want to argue with her because I wasn't trying to be confrontational, but I was like, no, you didn't charge me for it. And so, and I was like, are you sure? And she was like, yeah, I'm sure. And so, okay, so I walked away. So then I got something free. And yes, again, it's a small thing, but small wins, you got to appreciate the small wins, right? You got to appreciate the little things. So then I went back to the gas station the other day for another little thing. And then I had gotten home, and again, they didn't charge me for like $5 worth of stuff. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I'm like, do I go back? And, do I say, but it was like another win. Do you know what I mean? And so, so that was another thing. And then when I went back, I told him, and he's like, no, I don't think so. And I'm like, no, I know I had $5 extra than I should, because once again, I know how much my stuff was. So see, because I appreciated the smaller one. So it was like the first thing was like $1 she didn't charge me for. And then this time it was like $5, you guys. So did you see how it went up from 1 to 5? And I was like, wow, this is like working now. Okay. So then during this time, I started to kind of get depressed. And I was like, why am I getting depressed? I'm like really trying to stay positive and to be happy and, to feel it and all this stuff. And then I remembered in one of the books I read that it said that you can tend to get depressed during the process because your mind's like shedding the stuff. And I was like, okay, just keep going and try to stay positive. Don't let it get you down. Just try to stay positive. Okay. So there was that. And I know they're little things, but it's a start, you guys. You've got to appreciate the small wins, And I was happy with them. It showed me proof and progress and in the positive shift that I needed. And so I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about that, because God had talked to me about it a while ago, and he was saying spells are words, because when stuff was going bad in my life, I kept saying, like, repeating the bad things that were happening and saying negative things. And he was like, watch your words. Words are spells. And I'm like, okay. And then I like stopped watching my words, almost stopped literally talking about stuff so I wouldn't be saying these things. But then I had forgot that your thoughts and your feelings, I had really not ever pushed the feeling part of it, right? And so now I'm really trying to work on words, thoughts, and feelings. And a thing that helps is doing a gratitude list, because that'll help you feel good about the things you have. Just being grateful that you're alive, or for whatever it may be that you are grateful for. And I do a gratitude list. I know it's kind of messy because I've had it for years. I've been doing one since, I can't even remember. Looks like I started, I know there's another one because this is the old one. But in this one, I have it from 9/21/2021. I want to say I started sooner, but I could be wrong. Because I probably have another book that I finished, and I had to go on to this one. But anyways, so I do a gratitude list daily, and I just name so many things, so many things that I'm thankful. You can name 3 to 10 things or however many things you want to daily that you're grateful for, And so that helps, having gratitude, daily gratitude. And another tool that you can use is imagining that you already have it. Okay, so say you want to manifest love, imagining yourself doing things with that person. Are you guys going to the movies? Are you guys going to dinner? Just imagine yourselves doing whatever activities that you may be doing, going for walks with this person if that's what you're manifesting. Okay, another thing that I wanted to talk about. If you want to manifest like success, imagine the things that you would be doing as a successful person. If you're a business owner, what you would be wearing, or what would your daily tasks be in that sort of business, or whatever success that you want. If you're trying to manifest a vehicle, imagine yourself and try to fill yourself in that vehicle, even when you're driving your car, even if it's a bucket. Try to imagine that bucket is that dream car that you want. It's that whip that no one can afford, that some can't afford. You know what I mean? Just imagine yourself rolling that beautiful car, truck, or SUV, whatever it may be, that that you're trying to manifest having. Feeling is a big part of it, and that was a key tool that I was really missing. Imagination is just another tool that you can use to help you. Let's see. And so there was another thing that I've been manifesting, and recently I've been seeing it, and I don't get out that much. When I get out, I do what I have to do and things of that matter, but I don't go too far out of my so many miles radius. Let's just say that. And when I'm going out now, you guys, I'm seeing it. And be open. Like, try not to be so rigid, because with the dinner, I was thinking, oh, nothing's free. Today everything costs, right? But I was like, nothing's free. I mean, he got my time, right? And it was 2 hours. But I didn't literally have to dish any money out of my pocket. But at first I was like, nothing's free. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be open. I'm going to be open. And so, that's how I was able to get that nice dinner that my daughter and I got to eat. But you have to be open. Try not to be so rigid. One thing that I'll give another example. This is a good one too. I haven't been out in a long time. I've only been out like 2, maybe 3 times this whole year, right? Once my daughter took me out to a movie at this place we love, and they like serve drinks to you and food to you. It comes to your like seats. Oh, we love that place. And they have tasty snacks too. You know how I like to eat. And so that's one time that I've been out. And then my daughter took me, she graduated college and she's doing this internship. And with the internship, she got 2 tickets for guests to go to this wine festival, you guys. And I think I've only maybe been to it once before, maybe a long time ago. And so it was like a $30 ticket just to go. And so I got that. And then I got to enjoy that for free. And no, I'm not a drunkard. But I've only drank like probably twice this whole year. I'm not a big drinker. Even when my family and I, when I used to celebrate holidays, even when we celebrate holidays, like my family, they didn't really ever have alcohol at any of the holiday gatherings that we had in the past when we celebrated. I think one time there was a family member that usually isn't around as often, and they brought beer maybe one time out of all the decades that myself and my family celebrate. But anyways, so I got a free ticket to this wine festival. I was excited because I haven't been out. And I was like talking to God, and I was like, oh, this is the first time I'm going to be out since like I've stopped wearing my extensions and things of that matter. And I was like, wow, how am I going to feel about this? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I go out and do my errands and stuff, but like that I've been out at like an activity or something like that. So I was talking to God about that and saying some things, how I was feeling about it and stuff. And then I went to the festival and I was wearing like these heels. Wrong choice for that occasion. It was cute with the outfit though. Let me tell you, it was cute. I thought it was. And anyways, because was like a lot of gravel to get in, and then it was like this grass area that it was on, and it was like dense and in the grass and throughout. And after a while, I was like, I had brought a pair of flat sandals in the car, but I had left them in the car. And I was like, after a couple hours, I was like, I think we were there, something like that. After an hour or two, whatever it was, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go get my sandals. So I was headed back to the car, and I saw one of those security guys. They were in like the go-karts, and I was like, oh, let me see if I can get a ride. And I was like, hey, can I get a ride? I'm just gonna go change my shoes. And he was like, yeah, but I can only go to the gate. I have to stay within the boundaries. I can only take you to the gate. And I was like, I'll take it. You know what I mean? And so he took me to the gate, and then outside of the gate, there was another security guard. And I was like, hey. I was like, hey, can you give me a ride to my car? It worked with the other one, so I thought, why not try? And he was like, oh, I can't give a ride, I guess, if you're not like coming back, I guess. There was a misunderstanding there. And I was like, well, I'm going to just go change my shoes. But I was like yelling at him. He was kind of afar. And so I guess he didn't hear all the details, right? And he was like, I can't, and I was like, okay, that's fine. So then I walked my happy self to the car and switched shoes, and I came back. And then when I came back in the entrance, he was like kind of at the beginning of the entrance when you come in. He was like, hey, I didn't know you were coming back. I would have given you a ride. And I'm like, I tried to tell you I was coming back. I was like, had to go change my shoes because I was trying to be cute. And those shoes weren't working in this, like, with the gravel and everything. And he was like, oh, you don't have to try to be cute. You are cute. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. And like me, I don't even know how to flirt anymore. Like, I haven't been around people, and I didn't even know how to flirt. I don't even know how to flirt anymore. But that was me like kind of trying to like flirt and be thankful for the compliment. And it kind of answered some things that like I was talking to God about before going out with the changes that I've had to make, not wearing extensions. And so for this thing that was great because it was outdoors, so like wore one of my wraps, and then I had this sun hat that matched the outfit. So I was like, okay, this works for the event. But I thought that was sweet that he said that, but I was like, I don't even know how to flirt back. You know what I mean? But that was me trying. But he was younger than me, but I still have to be open, right? He was like way younger than me, than I am. But still got to be open, right? Age is just a number and things that matter. But anyways, so I'm getting to a point where the reason why I'm bringing this up is because in the past, when guys have asked me out, I was resisting to it because of the things that I have been through. And to be honest, I'm not against love, but I'm really not like focused on love. And I'm resisting. So like if you're resisting one thing, you're kind of resisting everything. And so I'm like, okay, I'm trying to be more open to everything, including that. Because like what I'm trying to manifest is not love. Some of you may be trying to manifest love or other things, but I'm trying to manifest something else, right? And so I was like, oh, good job. You were open. You attempted to flirt back or at least be appreciative, right? But you were more open. So I'm working on being open to things. So that's another thing is that if you resist one thing, you kind of resist everything. So like be open to everything. And I'm not saying be open to things that are going to get you in trouble. Always talk to God about it and confirm everything with God. But I'm saying like you got to be open to other things that may come in, So that was kind of the point of that. And God had kind of given me a wink and answered something that I was talking to him about. Okay. And so there was something else. And so one thing about me is I was always, without even knowing it in the past, because I really didn't know about this till God started to teach me about it literally, and to do it intentionally. I was always a great manifester. I thought so for the things that I wanted. Everybody manifests, on their own level of what they think is good or, what they want in their life, right? But I was happy and content with what I was manifesting and had in my life, right, at the time. So I was like, you know what, you are a good manifester because like you got the things you wanted. You have had them, you have gotten the things you wanted in the past. I was creating the life that I wanted at that time. But then some circumstances and things that you guys know I've talked about. I did a testimony, but didn't get a lot of views. And then I was guided to erase it and told to wait until the time when I'm guided to, I guess, redo the video. I guess God wants me to redo the video. So I did erase it, and I'll put it out at another time if and when I'm guided to. Okay, so I was some things that happened in my life, which I've talked about in other videos, kind of due to testimony throughout my videos, really, to be honest with you. So some things that happened in my life, and it kind of like changed my mindset and made me negative and depressed. And I remember years ago, I would always tell my ex, like, dang, I always see people out and they're always like frowning and mad or sad. And, there's me all happy-go-lucky dancing in the aisles. I used to be dancing in the stores all the time. I remember sometime I would see this one regular customer and he would always tell me, you like to dance, huh? Because I would always just be doing my happy shopping and just dancing in the aisles, just happy, just buying basic household supplies, And I was like, yeah, I do like to dance. And so, and I was like, I wonder why, people are like that. And I would always try to, like, when I go out, smile and talk to people, to try to, like, change their vibration, change their demeanor. But anyways, and I would tell my ex that, like, I don't know why people are so mad and sad and like frowning all the time when I would go out, But I mean, I get it. Life, we all go through life, and sometimes we all have bad days sometimes. Doesn't mean that those people were like that every day. It was just when I happened to see people at the store. And even me, when things have been going the way they have in my life, I've had my ups and downs, especially recently, but I still try to like be pleasant and smile when I go out, but everyone's different, right? So like I started thinking during this time when I was doing my research and stuff, like, okay, yeah, you've always been a manifest and you've always tried to be positive. And recently you flipped the script. So it's time to flip it back. So I've been trying to do that. And God says like abundance is your birthright, right? And like, what's that? And I say this prayer, but I'm going to paraphrase it. Okay, so do thy will on earth as it is in heaven, right? So you kind of want like heaven on earth, right? So we want to create our heaven on earth, right? To the best of our ability, right? But first we have to seek God with all our hearts and put God first in our lives, And sometimes I would say things like, man, I got it out the mud, because I came from very humble beginnings, But like God gave it to me, God gave that increase to me. God gives it to all of us. God gives and he takes. God is the giver to all of us. God will give and he will take it. And so I was like, I don't get it out the mud. God gives it to me out the mud. I don't know. That's just something I would like to say. But I just wanted to say that try to, if you're interested, some of you may already be working on this, some of you may have quit, some of you may have not even thought of doing this, but I just thought this would be a good thing to help maybe change things for the better in your life, or help you to get what you want. And like, don't always expect to get it right away. Some of you may be master manifestors and may be vibrating high to where you can see things coming in super quick right now, So I can't tell you exactly how to manifest for yourself, because I feel like it varies for everyone depending on your circumstances, your vibration, your mentality, how you can imagine, how you can feel, right? But like, maybe start small and build your way up. That way you can see proof of the things happening, so that you don't quit right away, so you stay committed. Because one thing God had told me is that you ask for a lot, but you don't commit. And I was like, oh man, like, okay, obviously God's right. Like, we know he's right? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. If I don't get it right away, if I don't see those results right away, I just like want to quit. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to start small and build up. That way I can say I've seen proof of things, and it'll help me continue and commit and not quit. And so like for some of you, you may be wanting to manifest like that fit body, but like you can't just, not for anything, we can't just twiddle our thumbs and expect it to happen, right? So you may want to manifest that fit body. So try to start small so that it's something that you can commit to and you won't quit right away. And you may even notice when you start, like you may even start small with start with your mindset. You might be saying, I am fit, I am healthy, things like this, right? And you may notice small things how you start. Like you may notice that you're making healthier choices in eating. When you go to the grocery store, you're not throwing in lots of cookies and donuts and chips and things of this matter. You may start to notice that slowly you're starting to make healthier choices by eating more fruits and vegetables and things like this. You may notice that you're starting to stretch or start to do light exercises. You may start with just your arms or a 20-minute exercise. You may just start with walking, things like this. And so just as an example, okay, there's so many examples you could give because anyone could be manifesting so many variations of things. But I just wanted to come on here and encourage you guys to maybe try this. It's something that God has taught me quite some time ago and has been brought back to me to try again. And I really did quite a bit of research on it. And I did some things myself before I even came back on the video to show you guys because to talk to you guys about it, because I wanted like some examples of proof before that it actually manifested for me. Not that I believe in it, because obviously I believe in it, and God said so, right? So you believe in it, right? But that I had experienced recently, to hope even if it is small things, it helps encourage you guys. But really pay attention to what you're thinking, what you say, and how you feel, how you feel. It's so important. And I'm working on that myself, right? But it seems to be working because those few things happen. And nothing like this has happened recently for me. So there's one small thing, another thing that I'm working on. It's not so small, but it's a step up, let's say, from when I've been trying to manifest. So I'm doing that next. And I've seen a little bit of progress from it, but until I actually manifest, I don't want to say anything yet. But once it does, trust me, I will be coming back to tell you guys. And so I hope I got everything out because there was so much that I wanted to say and made sure that I got it out this time. So yeah, I thank you guys so much for joining me. You guys are so greatly appreciated. I hope this helps encourage someone who may want to start their manifesting process, who may be in the beginning stages, or may be thinking about quitting manifesting, and or who have quit to go back and try again, okay? Because I know things, when they start to fall apart, it's hard to stay positive because things may start to fall apart, like that happened with me. I could show you another thing. God had told me to start cleaning up and organizing and doing some stuff. And so I cleaned up and I was doing my yard work and all that stuff. And I went and bought this lawnmower because I had like a gas lawnmower. And, one gas is high, even though it's a little bit that goes in lawnmower. But plus, one of my neighbors had told me that like the electric lawnmowers were lighter and they weren't as hard to push. And I have a gas lawnmower. So I had gotten an electric lawnmower and I was so excited to use it. On my little patch of grass that I have, and you guys, my grass died because I had like this water leak, and the water bill company sent me some notice when I got my bill. At the same time I got my bill, that I had high water usage, and my bill was like almost 6 times its normal use. You guys, no joke. And so I was like, okay, well, what am I using? Actually, I had turned on the drip system, and right around that time. And so I went and turned off the drip system. I called the water company. They were like, well, since you turned it off, now let's see, because your next bill is still going to be high, but it won't be as high, because hopefully if this is the problem, you caught it, and your next water bill will be high, but it won't be as high as this one, right? And I was like, okay. So because of my water bill, I stopped watering because I was trying to like budget back from that I lost. And look what happened to my grass, you guys. Can you guys see that? I don't know how I have to get this to get you guys to be able to see it outside. So you see my neighbor's bush. That's not my bush. I don't think I can get you to see it. Oh, you can kind of see it there, huh? That it might not show all of it. Yeah, that's it. over here kind of shows some of it. That's not the whole patch, I don't think. But, and my grass died. After I had bought that lawnmower and did all of that, I was so excited. My grass was looking really good. And I was so excited. It's my backyard. That's the backyard. And so I was so excited about that. And that kind of like, oh, put a damper on my little parade, you know? And then I felt I bought that lawnmower for nothing. But you know what? I thought, okay, that's okay. I'm not going to let that get me down because the grass isn't that level and doesn't have a sprinkler system. I know I said it was a drip system. It's a drip system for my plants that are in the front and some of my plants that are in the back. But I don't have a sprinkler system for the grass and the, that I just showed you. But I stopped watering because I was trying to like budget because of that overly expensive water bill that I got, and the one that was next to come that was still going to be higher than usual, but not as bad. So I was like, oh, well, I need to have it like leveled. Maybe I'll get it tillered or tiller it myself eventually because I did it on the last house, but I had my ex who helped me. We tillered and leveled the last one, and we did the grass over there from seed, but we didn't put a sprinkler system there either. And that grass grew very well too. But this one was sod. I had bought the sod and we kind of tillered it. We didn't do the best because we were very busy. And my ex laid it. But anyways, so that died because it doesn't have a sprinkler system in it. And I was cutting back on watering. But I thought, well, that's okay. This time what I'll do is I'll tiller it and level it better. And then either seed or do sod and add sprinkler system this time within the process. So yeah, so that was like one thing that fell apart during that time. And then, yeah, so my grass died and then the water, and then I was kind of feeling depressed and something else broke, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, these things happen during the time, but they say that that's part of the process just to keep going. And so I just wanted to come and like talk to you guys about these things. And I think that's it. I think I got most of it out this time. So I just want to thank you all for joining me. You are so greatly appreciated. Prayers and blessings to all. Bye.